today was a deadlift day for me, but it is a reduction in volume because I'm about to start another block. I have a new program from Silent Mike where I'm trying to bring back a little bit more strength. You guys been seeing me really push my conditioning, and I think my conditioning is at a point where I'm pretty happy with. But now I'm very unsatisfied with how frail I am. I like unrack 225 and I'm like, oh damn! And even with squats I have 315 and I just feel like I'm gonna die. So I really want to get back to the powerlifting roots a little bit. Today I'm trying to motivate my friend here who's way stronger than me but doesn't like to put in the work.
No, that's not true.
That's true.
Do you know that the older you get and the wiser you get, sometimes less is more?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta just do something.
Yeah, but I've been traveling. I got no sleep. I've been training 6 days a week. I know the amount of volume I can handle. Yeah. It's not about a lack of work ethic.
Okay, that's true. Mike works hard, that's true. What about another guy that's watching this that thinks he's working hard and then he's like,
I think,
wait, I've been traveling, I've been not sleeping.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not gonna squat today.
It's really hard because I think so many people don't know what level of effort it takes to accomplish anything. And right. For certain people, whether it be luck, genetics, opportunity, a certain amount of luck, someone could work this much and become a billionaire. Where right. Someone else to become a billionaire has to literally grind 24/7. Yeah. And it's the same in the gym. It's so dependent on so many variables on how much work you need to get in. And people say like, how many sets a week of squats do I need to get to squat 500 pounds? Well, it's gonna vary per person. And there is a range in lifting weights, rather there's not as much of a range in business or relationships, how much effort you have to put in. But the more experience you get, and lucky for me, I think I played sports my whole life and was just driven by hard work. I think I went too far and then now I toned back. Where maybe some people who didn't grow up playing sports or just don't know what it takes to get to a certain level athletically coast by bare minimums thinking they work hard.
Yeah.
And there is no answer. There is no answer. It's trial and error to some extent. And lifting is sometimes easier because there's a lot of good coaches on the internet. You find a program, you follow it, and that's probably in that range that'll help you.
Yeah, and being really honest with yourself.
You have to do it for yourself and for like a good amount of time, then be self-aware, be honest with yourself, reevaluate, reassess, and then continue to make adjustments, right? And that's easiest in the gym. You do a 4, 8, 12-week training block, reassess what went well, what didn't go well, and then adjust volume, frequency, whatever. But since I've been lifting 10, 15 years, I just know where that's at.
Yeah. For
your goals or for your...
What I assessed for this 1 hour training block,
yeah, it wasn't much.
Was Mike was being lazy.
Yeah, it wasn't much. It wasn't much.
So today, it was a pretty simple workout. I deadlifted 405, 3 sets of 5. Did a back off set with stiff leg with 225 for 2 sets of 10. How do you feel like the 405?
I think it looked great. Yeah, it looked fun.
To me, it felt like death. I mean, I think there's also this thing of like, when you've achieved a certain level of strength, you're always gonna subconsciously compare yourself to it, even though I'm like 40 pounds or maybe 20, 30 pounds different from before. But like, I know how much I've moved 405 before. And then so now, like, almost like the first rep when it doesn't feel like that, it's always demotivating. I'm like, oh God, I'm just going through the motions.
How did 485 feel for you?
Fun. My goals are all over the spot, but like, I wanna feel good, number one, look good-ish, and move pretty good. Those are kind of number 2 and 3 tied. So like, I do some strength work in the deadlift, and that's about it. So I've been pulling 5-ish. I kind of want to keep a standard and slowly grow
That's what I've been noticing, is that you've been going heavier. I'm like, oh shit, that's Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, that's dope. Mike's coming back.
Yeah. And so I want to be like strong enough, but I don't care if I pull 800, 900, 700, 400. I just want to feel kind of strong, handle some heaviest weight in the deadlift. So I probably shouldn't have because of lack of sleep and whatever, but I went for 585, which last week I pulled like 565, 575 pretty clean, but I was obviously rested. Conditions were different. So pulled 495, felt really good, missed 585. Just felt tired mentally and physically, so kind of called it there, did the stiff legs. And then my normal workout's similar to Bart, where I'm just kind of doing hypertrophy work or like feel good work after that, push-pull stuff. And so I just did like 1 or 2 sets of his 5 sets on everything else. Happiness is really hard to define, and so if I'm really like stoked on my training, stoked on business, stoked on relationships or whatever, I think they all go in waves. You can't, if your constantly only focus is to add pounds or kilos to the barbell, I think you are missing out on pieces of life. And that's not to say that you can't be have a sole focus, but even a sole focus of adding weight to a barbell you can do while still doing other things in your life. Like the barbell doesn't take up 24 hours in a day. And I can't really judge if I'm happy or not. I think that goes in waves as well, whether you're content, whether you're happy, whatever. I think goals change, and so for me, just continuing to wake up and make progress, continuing to try to do something is all I can really ask of myself. And like we said, get that minimum work in on bad days, on good days, get good work in, and otherwise just keep adjusting. So business stuff's good, life stuff's good, lifting's good enough. But yeah, sadly, I don't think the internet does understand, because I don't think people understand the longevity of a powerlifter. If you look at even high level or even just semi-elite powerlifters, the lifespan's very, very short. We understand that in NFL, right? Everyone throws around statistics. The average NFL player plays for like 1 year, but people don't talk about that in powerlifting. So
there's also a difference between a powerlifter and like an Instagram lifter too.
That for sure. And like for me, for a long, long time, even still I consider myself an athlete, but for 8 years, I was a powerlifter, a strength athlete that trained as competitive as the best, even though I wasn't even close to the best. I trained just like the best, but then I just put that content on the internet. And so I was like putting my body through a lot of it. And I think talking about the happiness and stuff, I think mentally and physically it is good to kind of change, adjust. If you're just constantly into the same thing, chasing the same goal for 10 years, I don't think you have any kind of mental awareness or self-awareness. And it's okay if that goal doesn't change and you're self-aware, but if you're so locked in, you're not looking around. But yeah, I don't think people can ever understand, even if I told them like this goal, that goal, you know?
Unless they've experienced it.
Yeah, I don't think people understand. It is different, and that's not my job to convince them my goals either. You know,
Yeah.
I can share my story, and if they want to accept it, they accept it.
Yeah, my happiness I think has shifted a little bit, and I think on both sides of me either being a powerlifter or me being, so like I guess I view it in two aspects. One where I really identified as an athlete, as a powerlifter, and I was happy in that way, but unhappy in certain ways. And then now I'm way weaker, but lifting is part of my life. And I'm way happier in that way and also unhappy in that way. And I kind of draw the same parallels to even just being like an artist or a comedian, where when I was a powerlifter, at the same time I was really big on comedy. I was doing like stand-up comedy and I was writing sketch comedy. And you're just so passionate and kind of very tunnel vision. So my strength defined who I was. You would never catch me deadlifting in Metcons. Anything that's not power lifter, I would never have done. This day, like whatever shoes I have on, if I need a deadlift, I'll just do deadlift in that
Your horizon's kind of broad.
Yeah, it's different. And before, where like comedy was, where I just wanted to be the funniest guy in the world, and I only wanted to have my touch in whatever art I was creating. It was very artist and very powerlifter. And so I was happy in that whatever I was identifying with had laser sharp focus, and I can kind of wear that badge on my sleeve, like 405 deadlift now, 495 deadlift, 585 deadlift or whatever. And then I did this comedy, whatever, I did Laugh Factory, Comedy Store. But then now, it's part of my whole, I guess, exhibition of who I am, and I'm way weaker. I'm not that involved in comedy. So I kind of have to take those badges off, but I feel like I'm more well-rounded, and using those to fuel the other parts of my life. Like I insert a little bit of comedy in my vlogs, a little bit of comedy in these videos. It feels more balanced, so I feel way more happy in that regard and all around regard, but I still do miss the times where I'm like, I wish like I was able to be a strong ass powerlifter, but also be all around. And I guess that's asking for a lot.
I don't think it's a right or wrong, and I think people get too locked in. I think it's okay to have that sole focus and to have an identity in something. But I don't think it's okay to get lost in that identity.
I see.
Because you can get lost as a powerlifter, and then when you get injured or you can't get stronger or you have to move on,
like your identity is shattered.
You're done. You get beyond depressed. You have nothing to rely on, and that's just something lucky for me I've never felt. The internet maybe feels those things, but I've never felt those things, and I think that's super important. And like it's again this balance game that's not right or wrong, because I do think it's super important for people to chase down a singular goal at some point and focus hard on that. Because if you've never done that either, I don't think you know what full commitment and
you
work
remember
ethic is.
Ronda Rousey when she lost to like Holly Holm?
People say she changed as a human.
On Ellen, she wanted to commit suicide, and people that have never had that level of passion, they're laughing at her. You make millions. It's like, dude, she identified as being the best fighter in the world.
And she doesn't lose, right? And then your whole persona gets rocked.
It's really cool that like I've known Mike for a long time, and even though we're not together physically and locally all the time, but we have, as you can see, we have very similar mindsets, and we both like to get after it, and of course we like to get strong, but we also like to use it to fuel other parts of our lives. And every time me and Mike are able to lift and just hang out, it just feels good again, you know, because we feel like we have the same mindset, same goals, even though he's way stronger than me but also lazier. I don't mind.
It happens.
I'm just kidding. Thank you guys for always watching our content and supporting us. Make sure to go to barbellbrigade.com. We always have new launches. Go check all of that stuff out. I think we just dropped this shirt. This is the All-Star collection, and we have the comfy shorts coming out.
That's weird. I'm wearing the All-Star collection. Coincidence?
Well, you are all-star.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not wearing it, so I'm not an all-star. You got the comfy shorts, dry duffel, all day long sleeve, all kinds of dope stuff dropping this month. So go check that out. Peace.
Boom.